is Destiny, and thank you so much for tuning into this divine channel. I'm so happy to be here, and I'm super excited about this. I've been meaning to open my YouTube channel for a minute now. So the reason why I actually decided to open my YouTube channel is because I feel like I can offer a lot of companionship and mentorship at the same time to you guys. I come across a lot of interesting information, and I think it's better to share it for the awakening of the collective in general. So our motto on this channel is going to be, what is reality? Is reality even real? Because it's not. So yeah, just to give you a brief background on myself, I am 22 years old and I live in the Sunshine City, which is in Harare in Zimbabwe. And yeah, I'm really just aspiring to be a spiritual guru, and I hope you guys enjoy going on this journey with me. Just to add on to that, I'm not belonging to a particular group of religion. I'm actually an omnist, which means that I recognize and respect all religions as having truth. So all religions, all deities, I believe that there is a little bit of truth in every single one of them. And I'm also a metaphysicist. I am a healer. I am a goddess. I'm an alchemist. Yeah. If you see me looking down, I'm just looking at my notes. I don't want to miss anything. So if you see me, I'm also an occultist. Yeah, we're gonna be diving deep into everything. So our first topic for today is ancestry, which I'm pretty sure a lot of you are aware of what that is. So ancestry is like one's family or one's ethnic descent, and I think my first understanding, or the first time I ever came across ancestry, was mainly in school, learning about it through African traditional religion, which I think is also really interesting, especially if some of you are tuning in right here from Africa, from the motherland. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, so most of what ancestry is actually passed down orally instead of scripture. It's not scripted. Like, we don't have one book that just talks about ancestry or what it means, but basically people that believe in ancestry believe that people in their lineage that are deceased are still connected to this life, and they're able to assist them and help them. That's why they have various ways of honoring their ancestors and communicating with them. So I do believe in ancestry, and I do communicate with my ancestors a lot, actually. I think they're one of the biggest reasons why I created this channel. So shout out to them. And yeah, so people that believe in ancestry, typically, at least in Zimbabwe here, we have a word for God, which is Mwari. So Mwari is not, I wouldn't necessarily say is God as in, you know, God the Father, but when white settlers came here, when colonialism started, when they got here, most, if not all, the tribes that they came across actually believed in Mwari. So in African traditional religion, they believe that Mwari is the very architect of life, and then below him is the ancestors. And that is why people believe in ancestry, because they believe that when you honor your ancestors and you communicate with them, they are the closest that you will ever get to meeting God and actually finding out more about your divine path, which is amazing. The reasons why I personally believe in ancestry, I never really used to be about it, actually, but I started watching Shy the Sage, or Shy the Gemini. Shout out to her YouTube channel. You guys can go on her YouTube channel for more metaphysical lessons. She's amazing. And she actually got me on this path, along with like a whole bunch of people. I will put their names down in the description box and link their channels. And I first started by actually creating an altar, right? And the purpose of having one is not necessarily for worship, which is what a lot of people misunderstand about ancestry. They think that ancestry is about worshiping your ancestors, which it's really not. It's just about honoring the people that came before you. Like, and a good example is Aang, right? Aang, the Avatar, the last Airbender. And his ancestors before him were all of the avatars that he was in his previous lives, right? And then he would get into like this mode sometimes when he meditate, when he used to meditate, and he would get into this mode, and then he would start talking to Avatar Roku, and Avatar Roku would always lead him back to his divine path, especially, and Avatar Roku would especially show up when he was having a really difficult time, like facing a large obstacle that he physically doesn't know how to conquer. And yeah, that's a really good example of ancestry, actually. So when you think of when you make your altar, and when you think of it as a mirror. So when you speak to your ancestors, you're not speaking to some being that is outside of yourself. You're actually just speaking to yourself, because you are your ancestors. You have their blood in your veins, you have their hair growing in your body, you probably still eat the same things that they used to eat, you may even still live in the house that they used to live in. So it's just really actually essentially about honoring yourself. That's the deep rooted part of ancestry, actually. Yeah, so altars. Typically when you create an altar, when you have one, you can put it in any space in your house, or if you are confined to maybe your bedroom, I would suggest putting it in there, because a lot of the times the things that you do put on it are not supposed to be touched by other people, or even looked at by other people sometimes, unless you really trust them. It's a sacred space, you know, it's a safe space for you. And when you have it, you should always put a white cloth on it, because white is the color of purity, because black absorbs everything and white reflects it and it repels it. So you should always put a white cloth on it, and then you can put anything you want on it, you can decorate it. But my best advice is to have all of the 4 elements on it. So earth, air, water, and fire. So for fire, I would typically have a white candle, and I'll get into that a little bit later in the video, but I would typically have a white candle. For air, I would get incense, and for earth, I would get a crystal, or yeah, crystals. I normally use crystals. I don't really know if other people use anything else, but I would get a crystal. And fire, air, earth, and water. Obviously water. Make sure you put water on there. I have a cup that I use specifically just for that, and I like to leave it there. I don't really move it, I don't really use it, I don't let anyone else drink out of it, because it's sacred to me. And I have a couple of like decorations on my altar. Like I said, I'm an omnist, so I respect the deities that come in all religions. So I have a couple deities there. I have Buddha. I actually have my little Buddha here. So yeah, I actually have my little Buddha here, and I have a really cool mug. This is my cup, and normally to honor my ancestors, I like to keep my altar clean as possible, as neat as possible. I also like to give them offerings, so you can do this in the form of anything. If you want to put some money on there, you can. That's completely allowed. There's not really many rules, I would say, except for the fact that keep it a sacred space. But besides that, you can actually just because I think ancestry is a really deep part of alchemy, that and a lot of people don't recognize that. And alchemy is all about you. Like, you are the center of your entire universe. Like, everything around you is projected through you. You are the center of the reality, and you are the center of your universe. So there are no rules to this. There are no rules to this. You can literally do anything you like. So yeah, I like to give offerings like food. I like to sometimes, you know what, your ancestors are actually always constantly trying to communicate with you and speak to you. You just have to have discernment, and you have to be spiritual enough and within that vibration to actually pick up on that. Like today, I woke up and I was just craving chicken feet, right? Like random. And it's because they want them. it's not a random thought. And now that I've actually worked on this for a while, and I've been meditating on it, I've been contemplating it, I now know that. So yeah, I'm actually gonna do that. I'm making chicken feet for dinner, and I'm pretty sure they're gonna love it. So you can give money, you can give like jewelry, you can offer food, you can offer water, that's a must. You can offer what else can you offer? I don't know what other people offer, but most of the times that's what I like to offer. So yeah, even if you like dream of eating a certain food and you wake up craving it, or maybe you're in the store, you're in the supermarket, and you just feel like getting something random, it's probably them telling you what they want. Like, you feel me? I mean, I like me some chicken feet, but I don't like them that much, you feel me? But today I want them like that. So yeah. And what else? When you communicate with them, normally I light the candle, and I speak through the candle, right? So, and even when I actually give an offering, I light the candle, and then I tell them that I'm giving you this as an offering. I hope you love it. I hope you appreciate it. And sometimes I just light the candle on the altar, like randomly too. You also just feel that randomly. Listen to your intuition. A lot of it is also listening to your intuition. I'll just feel it, and I'll be like, you know what, let me light my candle. And sometimes I can leave it on for 30 minutes or an hour or 2 hours. I don't really like to leave it overnight, because I almost burnt down my house with a candle once, so I'm not trying to repeat that. So yeah. But I mean, are you really an alchemist if you've never almost burned your house down at least once? Yeah. So also, when you communicate them, light a candle and try to speak to them in their native languages. Like, my native language is Shona, and I also speak English. I'm bilingual. So most of the times when I speak to my ancestors, I like to speak to them in their native language. But I also do have another side of my family that speaks Debele. I've never really tried to communicate with them through Debele, but I will soon, after I get a few phrases down, write down exactly what I want to say. Also, learn more about your lineage if you can. At least try to go 3 generations back, like your grandparents, your great-grandparents, your great-great-grandparents. Try to learn their names, because not all deities or spirits are good ones, and not all ancestors are good ones. So you need to be specific in the ones that you're trying to communicate with, and actually focus on that. I think I would also say, you don't stand when you are addressing your ancestors, ever. You never do that. You're either sitting down or you're kneeling. And for me, in my Shona culture, whenever you are greeting someone, an elder, and you're a sign of respect is kuuchira. That's what they call it, kuuchira, if I'm not mistaken, which is doing this if you're a woman, and then if you're a man, you do this. So I do that when I address them. And yeah, most of the times I used to actually say thank you after communicating, but I recently learned that that's not appropriate. You're just supposed to show gratitude, but you don't necessarily have to say thank you. You can show gratitude in different ways, just meditating on all of the things that you're actually grateful for. Like, I literally say that every time I speak. My introduction is always, I'm so grateful for my career, my home, my family, my friends. I'm so grateful for you. I'm so grateful that I have guidance, protection, that type of thing. Try as much as possible to be as respectful as you can, because ancestors are they are very, what can I say, they're very powerful and strong influences in your life. Try not to make them angry. Try to listen to them, because when they love you hard, and when you disrespect them, they go out of their way to show you that I'm not fucking with it. You feel me?